Oh, the wild webs we weave. You know, when I got this question not too long ago, I thought of Corey Monteith. For those of you who may not be familiar, Corey Monteith was one of the cast members of the hit show Glee that was canceled a few years ago. Anyways, Corey Monteith would often be asked, what advice would you give the youth of today? And almost always he would say, stay off drugs. And meanwhile, the whole time, or the majority of the time, he was using drugs. So, you know, when we first get into drugs, we experience a high. Now, we know it's wrong. We know what we're doing is wrong, but that first hit is exhilarating. For the most part, sometimes people can't stand it and whatever, but for the most part, people get a feeling of, whoa, okay, interesting. I like this feeling. And that's kind of what happens with affairs, is that, you know, from a logical frontal cortex perspective, we know what we're doing is wrong, but that hit is helping us cope or numb something or deal with something or, you know, avoid something, what have you. Anyway, so when your wife comes back, it's almost like, you know, logically she knows what she did was wrong. Maybe she misses you. Maybe she misses the history of you. Maybe she misses the familiarity. So she comes back to you. But eventually, like all addicts, they kind of get drawn back into this web. It's the allure of that drug. I missed that high. And so then they go back. Now, the biggest point I want to make out here is that your wife is not sitting on a hammock, you know, being fed grapes while her loved ones are, you know, her affair partner is waving big leaves, you know, fanning her on a warm, sunny day. No, people that are in affairs are often in torment. They're often in torment. And oftentimes they want to come back, but shame and guilt prevents them to come back, or the fact that now I hurt the person I love the most. Now I have to prove that I'm in a happy relationship, so let me stay away. So there's all this torment and turmoil going on inside. Sometimes they are thinking in logic mind. Sometimes the high is there, which is why oftentimes affairs only last between 6 to 18 months, because once that high wears off, it's like, okay, what are you serving me? Which is why affairs are not true love. And I wouldn't even say it's a fair love. It's a selfish behavior. People are in affairs because you're giving me something I need, which is that coping, which is that numbing something, which is that distracting something. It's not true love. It's not the everyday, okay, we need to pay bills, we need to wake our kids up for school, we need to do this thing called life. It's, you know, it's very childish, it's very immature. So that's to answer your question. However, what I would really stress on you is to do what you need to do so you're not caught up in this web with her.